what Work Excellence did when you started working with us, we kind of backed up and took a look at it from a different perspective. And I think about the vision statements that we wrote initially and how everything we were doing needed to align to that. We had a strong culture, we had great people, we had a great culture, but we lacked some of the rails that you need, some of the processes in place, especially as we had been growing. We had been a smaller company, and now we were growing into be a bigger company that you need some rails. And so I think with Work Excellence, with you coming in, we were able to put in place a number of these things that made the right data visible. We started going after data-driven decisions instead of thinking about things just through your gut, which when you're smaller, you maybe can do that, but as you get larger, you kind of need some data to back up some of those decisions. We made it visible to the whole company because we had different departments operating maybe in silos and weren't communicating as much between each other. And so by making that data visible, we actually would print off pages, and we would put it in our war room and hang them up on the walls, all of the execution plans and directional statements, all hanging up everywhere for everyone to see so everyone knew what we were working on. And it brought just a lot of structure where we needed structure. We're still nimble, we're able to pivot where needed, but it brought a lot of structure. I also think about what it did on our meeting side of things, because before you came in, I can think about how some of our meetings would go. You'd go into a meeting, and then the next time you'd go to a meeting, it felt like we were making the same decision all over again because we didn't have the right actions in place. We maybe didn't have the right goal setting for the meeting or purpose for the meeting. And so I think that was a really big thing for us, is putting into place everything around meeting rules. In fact, we still have the initial meeting rules that we put together hanging in our war room to this day. Sure. So 12 years later, those still apply. And follow-up on the action items was huge, making sure that those got documented from the meeting and being able to hold people accountable. So altogether, the structure that it brought to our business, but still allowing us to be nimble, was huge.
And meetings, you have a lot of different meetings, and just having some type of structure in place. And really, it was about the thinking first, right? Mm-hmm. Not about the tool.
Yeah.
You choose whatever tool fits you best, but right. This was more about the thinking of how you have a good meeting. What are the good elements to have a good meeting? And your meetings are still very good, right? Still very structured from that perspective. And so, just thinking about using the thinking as opposed to really settling on one tool, right?
Right.
Makes a big difference.
It was a huge shift for us, and made our meetings much more effective going forward.
Michelle, one of the things when Mark and Mike, the two previous owners and they're still owners of the organization, brought us in and through some heavy consulting and implementing the Work Excellence method, one of the things that they asked us to help them do was to double sales, double EBITDA.
Yep.
Right? And 5 years, 6 years later, didn't quite double sales, but we more than helped you double EBITDA, right? Mm-hmm. And the business did sell. I don't think that's a secret, but the business did sell to Family Trust, and you're operating under that today. But are there any real specific KPIs or measures that you can think of that Work Excellence really helped you, from a perspective? Because we certainly don't take any of the credit of that. Maybe helped you out a little bit, but that was not our work that did that for you.
Yeah. I guess when I think about it, I think about the growth that we've had. I mean, since you started with us, we have quadrupled in sales, which is incredible. And, I think about even up to that point, how far we had come. At that point, we had doubled already in our sales. And so when I think about, and then there's a bunch of KPIs that all back that up, from the number of customers that we grew to the number of reps that we were growing in different areas because we had to work a lot around the sales side. We had done an acquisition at that point and brought them into the fold. I look at just overall where we were watching sales per employee. We were looking at it per department, so watching as we grew, trying to watch that payroll overall as a percent of sales. We actually had those posted all over too. and our credits, of course, and really working with operations and customer service around our credit percentages. But I think overall that the fact that we've quadrupled since that time, and pretty much all of the methods that you had put in place with us are still there today. If you're thinking about calling Work Excellence, don't hesitate, call now. It's made a tremendous difference in our company, just foundationally incredible, and I've recommended it already to other people. Great things are possible, and I think that we're living proof of that.